Now I'll start to continue that one. We call a shell and tube heat exchanger. So shell and tube in this type of heat exchanger, one fluid flow through a bundle of tubes, not a single tube. There are so many number of tubes and enclosed by a shell, that container, and the another fluid is forced through a shell and made up to flow over the bundle. For example, look at here. So these are the tubes are used. There are number of tubes, a bundle of tubes. So within the tubes, either maybe hot fluid will be flows through the inside the tube. At the same time, we have to force the cold fluid will be flows over the tube. So it should be flow over the tube, not inside the tube. Hence, the heat exchanging will be take place from the hot fluid tube to the cold fluid. So this is the called as shell and tube heat exchanger. And now we go for the last one, we call as compact heat exchanger. They have a very large heat transfer area per unit volume of the heat exchanger, called as compact heat exchanger. Then go for the condenser. In this condensing fluid remains at constant temperature throughout the heat exchanger. Now keep it in mind, in a condenser, the condensing fluid remains at constant temperature throughout the heat exchanger. So the temperature of the colder fluid gradually increases from inlet to outlet. But in the evaporator, the vice versa of the condenser. That means the cold fluid remains at constant temperature while the temperature of hot fluid gradually decreasing from inlet to outlet. In a condenser, cold fluid gradually increases, temperature of the cold fluid increases from inlet to outlet. But in evaporator, hot fluid gradually decreases from inlet to the outlet. In a condenser, hot fluid remains at a constant temperature. In a evaporator, cold fluid remains at constant temperature. So that is the difference between the condenser and evaporator. So now we will go start with the next one, we called as overall heat transfer coefficient. So this is the very important parameter we have to discuss on the overall heat transfer coefficient for the designing of a heat exchanger. This is a very important one because of heat exchanger should be designed for a particular application. It should be depends upon the application and how much of heat will be transferred. So hence it is necessary to calculate what is the overall heat transfer coefficient. So the overall heat transfer coefficient we called as U. So now in a heat exchanger, the heat energy transfer from one fluid to another fluid across a good conducting wall. For example, we have to discuss on the one. So let us consider the plane wall. This is the plane wall of thickness L having a thermal conductivity of K. So let us consider the surface temperature of T1 and another surface having a temperature of T2. So both the walls, both the side of the wall, there can be one fluid will be flows on either side of the wall, on the both side of the wall. Let us consider where Ti is the temperature of the fluid and Hi is the temperature heat transfer coefficient of the fluid, and at the same time T0 is the temperature of the fluid and H0 is the temperature of the fluid. So let us is given by, this is the inside, this is the outside. I represent inside and O represent the outside. Okay, no problem. So now let us consider this is a plane wall. So we know that the rate of heat transfer equation is given by for the plane wall, Q is equal to delta T divided by summation of resistance. So look at it, we should draw the circuit resistance circuit diagram. We're getting the three resistance. This is the called as convection resistance, conduction resistance, and this is the another convection resistance. So now, and also we know that we also, according to the based on the overall heat transfer coefficient definition, U is equal to, U is the overall heat transfer coefficient, A is the area, and delta is the temperature difference. From these two equations, from equation 1 and 2, the Q is the common. Then this one is equal to this one. So that is delta T divided by summation of resistance is equal to U into A into delta T. So hence delta T goes to cancel. Remaining thing is called 1 divided by summation of resistance we called as RA plus R1 plus RB. So that will be right. That is equal to U into A. So within that we know that expression where RA is the convection resistance, formula is 1 by H into A. So at the same time this is for the I, that is inside a fluid. So 1 by HI into A. This is the conduction resistance for the metal, and L by Ka. At the same time the convection resistance 1 by H naught into A. Area should be same for the all the things. So let us consider that is 1 by Hi into A plus L by Ka plus 1 by H naught into A divided by UA. So A, if you taking A as a common, 1 by A and A goes to cancel. So let us consider then what is the remaining. U is equal to 1 by Hi plus L by K plus 1 by H naught. So this is the overall heat transfer coefficient formula for the heat exchanger of a plane wall, for a wall. Okay. So let us consider when you go for the cylinder, what is the cases for the cylinder? For the cylinder wall, so look at here, this is the hollow cylinder. Inside that one fluid will flows, and outside having another fluid will be flows having a inner radius of Ri and outer radius of R0. So let us consider this also contains a 3 resistance same, and let us consider T1 and T2. This is equal as T1 and this is equal as T2, and this is equal as T0 and this is equal as Ti. So now from the equation 1 and 2 again, that is UA delta T divided by delta T divided by R, delta T goes to cancel, UA divided by 1 by R. So UA is equal to 1 divided by, so look at it, convection resistance should be same. So 1 by HA, but conduction resistance for the cylinder is goes to change, that is called as ln of R0 divided by Ra, R2 divided by R1, that is R2. In the previous chapter, in the first chapter, we taken as R2 and R1. R2 is the outer radius, R1 is the inner radius. But here I have to taken that outer radius to inner radius, that is R0 divided by Ri divided by 2 pi KL and plus 1 by H0 into A0. H0 into A0 is the convection resistance. So hence there are two based on that U will be based on the inner surface area and as well as outer surface area, because of there are two surface areas become. This A is a surface area. Look at it. This is if you taking the inner surface, that will become inner area. If you taking the outer radius, we taking this outer area. So now U based on the inner surface area, surface area for the cylinder, we know that 2 pi RL. So AI become 2 pi RIL and A0 is the 2 pi R0 L. So let us consider substitute that values. UI, that is U based on inner surface area called as UI is equal to 1 divided by we call as AI, inner surface area na. So that means this A, look at it, this A I'll transfer into here. Okay, so if you transfer into here, A become AI and plus AI ln of R0 divided by Ri divided by 2 pi KL and plus AI divided by H0 into A0. So within that AI goes to cancel. So remaining thing is 1 divided by 1 by Hi plus 2 pi RIL divided by 2 pi KL into ln of R0 divided by Ri plus 2 pi Ri into L H0 into 2 pi R0. So within that 2 pi LL goes to cancel. Here also 2 pi L and 2 pi L goes to cancel. What the remaining thing is 1 by Hi plus 1 divided by Ri by K ln of R0 by Ri plus Ri by R0 into 1 by H0. So similarly, if U is based on the outer surface area, I'll directly write that equation. Anything else? So this will be transferred into this side. That's it. So hence, so that is 1 divided by Ri by R0 into 1 by Hi plus R0 instead of Ri, this will become R0. R0 by K ln of R0 by R by plus now already told now this one will be transfer into this side. So now this is remaining 1 by A naught, 1 by A naught. So this is the called concept of overall heat transfer coefficient for the plane wall as well as for the cylinder wall. So now we go for the next topic we called as. So let us before going to that another one topic, we have some important note you should know that. So first one, overall heat transfer coefficient depends upon the flow rate and properties of the fluid. Flow rate and properties of the fluid, and for the fluid like tar, oils, low thermal conductivity, so that having low thermal conductivity, the overall heat transfer coefficient will be decreases. And actually these are some important gate notes we can note on. So for an efficient effective design, there should be a no higher thermal resistance in the heat flow path. So that means for efficient effective operation of the heat transfer, so that should be having a high thermal resistance, no thermal resistance. Thermal resistance should be low. So now all the resistance in the heat exchanger must be low. So that is the concept. And now we go for the another concept called as fouling factor, or called as fouling. Before going to identify the fouling factor, you should know that what is called as fouling. Fouling factor is nothing. Fouling is a phenomenon of rust formation and a deposition of the fluid impurities on the surface of the tube of the heat exchanger. Surface of the tube of the heat exchanger we call as fouling. For example, if you are using the water, we can observe that if using some water in a steel glasses, some rust formation will be takes place inside the glass. So that is the deposition of the rust formation, and as well as the some impurities of the fluid on the surface of the tube of the heat exchanger we call as fouling. So that rust for deposition of the scale, that is called as rust, as well as the impurities, that also offer some resistance to heat flow. So hence due to the fouling factor, due to the fouling, the rate of heat transfer will goes to decreases. So that is the deposition of the such a impurities on the surface increases the thermal resistance. So with corresponding to the drop in performance of the heat exchanger. Automatically, if the impurities will offer a resistance, the resistance goes to increases. Automatically, the effectiveness, efficiency of the heat exchanger goes to decreases. So hence the thermal resistance of due to the fouling. How to identify this is also type of a fluid, not a solid. So hence it offer a convection resistance we call as RFI, that is resistance of fouling factor of the inside. So this is become 1 by HFI into A. HFI is the heat transfer coefficient of the fouling factor, that is impurities, and at the same time RF naught is the resistance of fouling factor of the outlet is equal to 1 by A naught into H naught. So hence where HI and F are the heat transfer coefficient between the scales and the fluid at inside and outside of the tube, and fouling factor represent the reciprocal of the heat transfer coefficient, that is RF is equal to 1 by HF is the fouling factor. So let us consider, if you are having a answer, the overall heat transfer coefficient for the tube, actually we have to discuss on the not a plane wall. In a heat exchanger, we have to only discuss on the cylindrical coordinates. So that is, hence the overall heat transfer coefficient becomes this equation. Look at it. This equation will becomes this equation, these two equations will become. So look at it, then will be extra added. Observe that we can this equation to this equation. Look at it, 1 by HA based on inner surface area, that is 1 by HA. Look at it, 1 by HA, but plus look at it, 1 by HA. So after that, this one inner surface, the deposition of the scale will be formation on the inner surface area. Hence this offers another resistance here, the resistance that is called as fouling factor resistance. So that will write fouling factor resistance called as 1 by HFI plus, and same thing, look at here, we can compare it that Ri by K ln of R0 by RL and plus R by R0. So look at it again, after that outer surface area, look at it, after this one again here also, before that this fluid, the fouling factor fouling will be takes place, deposition of the fluid before the fluid, hence we can add at the fouling factor, that is called as Ri by R naught plus into 1 by Hf naught plus R by R naught into 1 by H naught. So this is for the based on inner surface area. At the same time, based on outer surface area, look at it, this is become R by R naught into 1 by Hi plus Ri R naught divided by 1 by Hfi. Same thing, R naught instead of Ri can be replaced by R naught by K into ln of R naught by Ri, and plus of, so same thing, 1 by Hf naught, and this is called as 1 by H naught. So this is the concept of the overall heat transfer coefficient including the fouling factor. Thank you.